Hey YouTube, I'm going live for the first time, and honestly, embarrassing reason why I'm going live, I have no storage on my phone. So that's what that's all about. But I really wanted to try and get an update up because it has been so long since I posted a video. So much has happened over the last, I want to say almost 4 years since I posted a video. I'm just going to kind of get it all out there, and then if you guys want me to kind of talk about some stuff more specifically, I can try and figure out some sort of storage situation so I can make that happen. But no promises, just kidding. I'll do my best. I just have to delete a lot of pictures and a lot of videos off my phone that I just kind of have for like no reason. Who else has like a section of their phone that is just filled with like dog memes? Is it just me? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Okay, so 4 years ago, I think was the last time I posted a video. I was still a nanny, so I was still working for my uncle and I was still looking after my baby cousin. And at that time, we were living in Alberta, Canada, and we weren't necessarily happy. We were working. I ended up quitting being a nanny, and I just kind of did some various jobs because I couldn't find something that was like a good career job where I could make good money with good hours. So that kind of sucked. Josh, my boyfriend, who we are still together, it'll be 6 years in August. Um, he was working as an electrician, so he had had a couple different jobs, and he had done his first year of schooling when we still lived in Alberta. And there was basically a drop in the oil field um, whereabouts we were living, and he got laid off. And after he got laid off, he couldn't find a good paying job that had consistent hours in his field. So basically, I was making crap money. He wasn't making any money. And, we were kind of at this point in our life where we had to make a decision. Were we going to stay and struggle, or was he going to change careers? What were we going to do? Because anything that I could have gone to school for that I was personally interested in couldn't be done in the town that we lived in. Josh's schooling could be done, but he needed hours. He'd already finished his first year and he needed hours. But because he had been laid off and, like I said, work was kind of crap at the time, we needed to make a decision basically. So, what ended up happening is we had sat down with Josh's parents and we had talked about some things, and they had basically made an offer to us that we could take, and it would help us, it would move us forward, but we would have to move. So Josh and I thought about this option and we talked about it for a bit, but because of our situation, because of how terrible it was, and we were renting a place at the time, we had gotten our own place, we were running out of money. I was stressed because I was the only one working. I think at the time I was actually working 2 jobs, and it just wasn't a good situation. Both of us were like miserably depressed. Just like situation. We weren't moving forward. It was just terrible. It was a terrible time. So basically, what ended up happening is we decided to take the opportunity. Part of this opportunity was I had to sign up for school. So I had decided, like, after thinking and talking it through with obviously my mom, who helped me a lot with this move, and Josh and his parents, I basically set my sights on culinary school. And if you guys didn't already know, I love cooking. I have a huge passion for food. Well, number one, eating food. That's like a huge passion of mine. But cooking it is another passion of mine. So, it kind of made sense. A lot of people said, why didn't you do this sooner? And, so basically I just ran with it. And I signed up for school in May, basically right before the cutoff. And I was accepted, and I got in kind of at the last minute. There was only a few spots left, and I was able to get in. And I registered in May, and school started in September. So it was more like the end of May when I registered, and school started in September. So we had to move out of our place. We obviously gave notice to our renters, so we had to stay there for that month. And then we left, moved all of our stuff out. We had to get rid of a ton of stuff because obviously moving it from one province to another, we didn't have the means to do that. We had a little car, a little Pontiac Vibe, so she was a good car, but she was small, so we could only take so much with us. So we ended up getting rid of all of our furniture basically. I think we left with 4 like storage tubs and a couple items like our TV, our computer. Actually, there was 2 TVs and a computer, so we really didn't take much, and we couldn't even bring everything with us. We ended up storing some of it stayed in Alberta at Josh's parents' house in their garage because they had storage space. So we did end up storing some things that we knew we were going to need later on when we had become established, but we couldn't bring with us. So we packed up our stuff. I worked. Josh did some work for his parents in the meantime until we were able to leave, and we moved in to their home. Luckily enough, they have a larger home, and they had space, and they had a spare room and a bathroom that we could use. I brought my dog. I was allowed to do that. And we just lived there, I want to say, for about 2 months by this point, before we had kind of gathered ourselves, gotten prepared, figured out everything that we were going to do. And then we packed up into the car and we moved. And we moved in, I'm trying to figure out which month this was. I want to say it was August by this point. I could be wrong, but I want to say we moved in August. So we packed up all of our stuff and we moved. Yeah, it was August because I remember I had a few weeks off before school started. So we packed up everything and we left. And we were living in Alberta and we moved to British Columbia. So it was just one province over, but it was about 12 hours-ish from the town we were in to where we moved. So we packed up, we got the dog, we got our stuff, and we packed into the car and we left. And we got in to the town that we moved to, and we were very blessed that Josh's parents actually had a vacation home in the town we were moving in, and they allowed us to stay there until we could figure out other accommodations. So we moved into there, but obviously it had all of their things. So that's like one of the reasons why we couldn't bring all of our stuff is we didn't have our own place, and there wasn't space to bring all of our things, like our kitchen things. Just things that you would take, towels and linens and everything. That their house was already stocked. We couldn't bring it. So we brought what we needed, our clothing basically, a few items, and we moved in to their place. And then I started school in September. And Josh, actually, when we arrived, which, like I said, I think it was August, Josh got a job immediately. He immediately started working, and that was all great. He got a really great job with a great company. He was making good money, and it was consistent. It was everything we needed at that time. And I think it was 2 or 3 weeks off between when we arrived and when my school started. So I basically took a mini vacation, which was great because, like I said, I was working 2 jobs before we left, and I was very stressed out. So that worked out really good. I really enjoyed that time. So I took that time off and enjoyed myself, and then I got everything ready. And I had to go buy a bunch of stuff for school, books and uniforms, and figure out, my schedule at Newtown, figure out where my college was, all of that good stuff. So I started school in September, and it was a 10-month program. And I went through the program, and I would say, other than a few weird inconveniences because of the fact that the home we were living in was 30 minutes outside of the town or the city, I should say, where my college was and also Josh's work was. So we had a 30-minute commute each way, and then in the winter, that turns into about a 45-minute commute one way. So there was a few scheduling things and hour things that didn't work out great, but we made work because we only have one vehicle, and I didn't have a driver's license at the time. So it was a pain in the ass, and I got to give credit to Josh because he was driving all the time, and I look back and I feel so bad, but it literally was our best option at the time. I needed to have a career in something. My goal was to make better money. My goal was to find a good, stable job with benefits, and same for Josh. So we did what we had to do, and it was crappy, and there were days where I got to school 5 hours before my actual class started, but that was the only way I could get into town. There's no buses. What's that? I think my dog is being naughty. No, she's not being naughty. Okay. So we did what we had to do, and I graduated. So I graduated in June of 2017. Yeah, that sounds about right. So I graduated in June of 2017. I had excellent marks. I got my level 1 professional cook, and I would have had my level 2 professional cook if I would have had hours. A lot of the people that attended the program had already worked in the industry and had developed hours. I had never worked in the industry, so I didn't have any hours, and due to where we lived, I couldn't get a job between that time, or while I was in school, sorry, but also the hours of school kind of made things really difficult, and one vehicle, and trust me, it was a lot. But I graduated, everything was great, and then I started looking for a job immediately. So immediately out of school, I was having issues finding a culinary job. I had started at one place and I only stayed there for 4 days because it turned out to be absolutely terrible. So I just knew like I couldn't work in that environment. Um, so then the place we lived at is a resort community, because that's where Josh's parents' vacation home is. And they were looking for seasonal summer staff to help out around the resort. And I was like, you know what, I already live here. Let's just do it. And so I did that, and I worked there for about 6 weeks, and it was just like general maintenance, landscaping. I worked with pools. I did basically anything that they wanted me to do, and it was super convenient for us at that time. But it was basically just a means of me getting money until I could find a job in my field. So I did that for, I want to say 6 to 8 weeks. I did that before I found a job that was suitable, that had good pay, good hours, and wasn't completely ridiculous. So, because culinary field can be like that if you know anything about it. So I see that we have one viewer. So hello, you one viewer. Thank you for watching. I'm just doing a quick update on everything that's happened over the last 4 years. You're kind of coming in the middle. So we had, I had been working, and then I found a job. So I'd finally found a job in my field, which was fantastic, and I took it, and everything was great. It was new, but I'd just gotten out of school for it, so it still felt fresh and it felt fun, and you know, it was a good experience. For the first few months, it was a really good experience. I ended up working there for a total of 9 months, and in that time, it kind of progressively got worse. It wasn't well organized. There were some issues, and I don't blame, I don't blame my chef. I don't blame the people I worked with. It was kind of more higher up, unfortunately, and there was really nothing I could do about it at that point. So also in this time frame, I will add, right after we started the restaurant, we had been looking for a place to live. And let me tell you, in the city that we live in, trying to find somewhere to live is the most difficult thing in the entire world. The rental market here was like, the vacancy rate was like 1% or 0 point nothing percent basically, because we couldn't find anything, and we looked and looked and looked, and it was insanely expensive, and nobody would let me bring my dog. Like, how rude is that? So rude. And I was willing to pay, extra to bring my dog, and there was just no options available to us. So we, luckily, again, with the help of Josh's parents, we were able to find a place in the resort that we were currently staying in, and we bought a house. So yay. That was huge. That was really huge. I never thought at 24 I would move to a new city, a new province. I would attend culinary school, graduate, purchase a house, and start a career all in 1 year. But that's basically what happened. Well, a year and a bit. But that's what happened, so that was pretty crazy. So we moved into the place. I had been working at the restaurant, and everything was going great. Josh's work was going good. And he attended his 2nd year of schooling also while we were here in our new city, which was great. And yeah, so everything has just been plugging along really great. This is our home. Like, you can't really see much of it. And if you guys do want to see a house tour, I could probably figure something out. So if you guys want that, let me know. Comments, whatever, however this live thing works, let me know. And then I guess really the final update on top of all of that had happened over the last almost 2 years now. The biggest thing is Josh and I are getting married this year in July, so we've got a couple months until we get married. So that's really exciting. It'll be about almost to the day 1 month to our 6 year anniversary, so that is exciting. And also, some very exciting news is Josh and I are expecting a baby. So I'm currently 13 weeks, no, what am I? 12 weeks, 12 weeks 1 day? That's what it is. I'm 12 weeks and 1 day today, so that is also very exciting. I have thought about possibly doing, oh, thank you very much. I have thought about doing pregnancy updates. I'm just not really sure how I feel about the whole thing. And also, to be honest, my pregnancy has been really boring. I'm not one of those people that really, I mean, luckily, I haven't really had many symptoms other than being tired all the time and having headaches. That's basically what's happened for the last 3 months. So there's not really much to update on. I don't have a bump. I'm kind of a fluffier person because I absolutely love to eat, so I don't even have a bump. I don't have anything interesting to update on as far as pregnancy goes. And yeah, so we found out we were pregnant, like I said, just under 3 months ago, because I found out when I was like 2 weeks pregnant. And I was trying to work at the restaurant while being pregnant. And in the first like trimester or whatever, you're exhausted. You're absolutely exhausted. I didn't have morning sickness, but I was nauseous all the time and headaches. And I couldn't keep up with the restaurant and how busy it was getting because it's coming into the summer season, which is just insane in this city that we live in. And I could not keep up. I couldn't get proper breaks. I wasn't getting enough time to eat. I wasn't getting any time to put my feet up. Like I was exhausted, and I hated going to work. And I loved cooking. I really, really did. And I was getting really, really good at it. I was the breakfast cook for so I was there for 9 months, and I think I was the breakfast cook for about 4 of it. So I was the primary breakfast cook. I did breakfast every single day, Monday through Friday. I opened the restaurant at 6:30, and I busted my balls for that place. Yeah, and I couldn't keep up with it anymore. And then I was also worried about, being pregnant, getting bigger in the summer, which is really, really hot. Kitchens are really hot. And it's a physical job. Some people don't realize how physical that job can be. And it was very physical. And it was really, really difficult. So I handed in my notice, and they were very understanding, with my situation, and they knew that I was pregnant. Because this had been some time after we had found out we were pregnant, and I was just doing my best. I was trying to keep up with it, look after myself. Because when you find out you're pregnant, it's not about you anymore, really. Well, it is, but it isn't. You're looking after yourself, but you're looking after yourself for your child. And Josh knew how stressed out I was. He knew how, it was taking a toll on me physically, and he was worried about me, and he was worried about our baby. So it was the best decision for our family. And I gave my notice, and again, the resort that we live at, where we bought currently, was hiring for the summer because I'm coming into the summer months, and they had actually made a new position, an office position. So they had needed a front desk person, somebody that could take care of all of their paperwork, take care of the office, do customer service, phone calls, just general office stuff. And I totally felt comfortable with that idea. I'd worked for them the summer previously, so they knew me, they knew how I worked, and it honestly seemed like a perfect fit at the right time, and I went for it, and I got the job. So I've been working here now for just over a week, and everything's been really great. Everything's come to me really naturally. I feel really, really comfortable, and it's been a really good experience so far, and I could definitely see myself working here through my pregnancy and feeling comfortable and feeling, just feeling good about it. So it all worked out, and this is where we are now. This is our life now. I feel really thankful for everything that has happened in the last year. It was crazy. It all happened really, really quickly, but everything happens for a reason, or I'm starting to kind of think that way. I didn't always think that way, but I'm starting to think that way. everything kind of, it falls into place. And when I was younger, I didn't understand that. I just thought that, the world was out to get me, and life is so hard, and poor me, and blah, blah, blah. And it is. Life is hard, but it's really what you make of it. And, the harder you work for something, and the more you step out of your comfort zone, and the more you push yourself, you'll surprise yourself. Things will happen. You can't control it, and you just take it day by day and do the best that you can, and good things happen. And that's just been my experience. And maybe that's part of getting older. You kind of have these realizations, and maybe it's being pregnant. I don't know. I was really emotional in the beginning, and I had all these like epiphanies, but I'm just trying to do the best that I can, and do the best with what I'm given. And that's how Josh and I are looking at all of this, and all these new adventures, and all these challenges that have come up. And it's been a whirlwind, but we're here, and everything's been really great. So that's my update. That was a long update, 21 minutes. So actually, if I could sum up over a year in 21 minutes, I think I'm not doing too bad. So yeah, if you guys are interested in hearing about anything else specifically, let me know. I don't know. Was this interesting? Was this sit down good? Do you like hearing me talk? I don't know. I'm somebody that can talk for hours and hours and hours. So, if you're like, Raina, you suck at sit down talk videos, let me know that, so I know and I don't look like an idiot. But like I said, if you guys want to hear about something specifically, let me know. I'll do my best to kind of figure that out. I kind of have a more stable job, so I have days off, and I have time that I could set aside for recording. I just want to know what you guys think, because it's been a while, and if I still have any followers, what do you think? So let me know. But it's been great catching up with you guys, and I hope you enjoy this video, and I will see you again next time. Thank you for watching.